question. I'm not really sure this is critical or not. But because of the isolate, that the very normal isolate, those are rather white, right?
Sure.
And those water extracted CBDs are slightly brown. What is that brown actually?
Sure, yeah. So if you think about taking a bunch of plant material and soaking it in hot water, you're gonna get a brown tea, right? I'm using so much water, my crystallization's quite dilute. So that brown color just comes from, okay, so if you're doing a pentane crystallization, the crystals trap a little bit of pentane, and that's
right.
So it's trapping the filtrate is what I think is going on. It's something we're working on. I'm working with Colorado State University to identify the color bodies, but typically we're talking less than 0.1% by weight.
Yep.
And since it's such a new process, we don't even really know what we're looking for. I suspect it might be sugar derived, but I'm handing them a sample. They're running it on their mass spectrometer and comparing it against mass spec libraries. It's, I don't know when we'll find out what the color body actually is, but that's where it's coming from.
But probably by the highest possibility, it's gonna be like a part of the sugar, or not really burnt sugar, but let's say this way, it's colored because of such a stuff. You see what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, if you just kind of like look at what biopolymers typically get extracted, you're looking at lignin, pectin, hemicellulose, like stuff like that. That's Absolutely. Just my best guess. And my area of research is such that I can read about that stuff. I'm aware of it, but I don't know a lot about the characterization techniques for large biopolymers and stuff like that. So definitely trying to work on it, but it would be like me coming into your lab and trying to do what you do.
Yeah, I think so. That kind of makes sense. Yeah. I was just curious. I was not really. How can I say? I was not on the negative side. I was just curious about what can be the difference and so on. So
yeah, and we can distill it out easily. We can make white powder as well. We call it our refined isolate. I just don't see a point unless people want it that way. Less work for me, less work, and all of that stuff.
So in another word, like you can make it like an over 99% of CBD isolate without like being white, right?
Correct.
Like,
yeah.
Like you don't have to wash it too much. Like some of the people like trying to make it as white as possible.
Yeah.
To get to over 99%.
Right, and they're usually washing with like pentane or heptane or something.
Right.
And that works in their situation. I do a lot of water washing. I use way more washing than anyone does with pentane or heptane, but it's just not quite the same. My impurities are not as soluble in water as their impurities are in pentane. So I'm kind of stuck with the brown color unless I do a distillation or do some post-processing techniques.
No, I mean if the coloring stuff is more water soluble, then it won't be able to remove it, right?
Yeah,
the
distillation itself is very easy. You could teach a high school student to do it.
Sure.
It all stays behind in the distillation pot.
But I mean that if you're going to really stick on for the water stuff and you never use them if you're going to stick like never using the organic solvent like a pentane or whatever, then I think it does make kind of a sense. I mean, it's very, very, really, really difficult to remove those colors without those stuff actually.
Yeah, exactly. There's just not as much in the organic.
So it's to wash it, you need a detergent, you need an organic solvent. But if you really want to skip those under the fan, then it's not possible.
One of my best friends is in process chemistry at Corteva, Agri-Sciences, and he is like, you just need a co-solvent in there, buddy, to get your yields up. And I was like, I can't do that. That defeats the point.
So that's the case. Yeah, no, that does make sense actually.
Yeah, and I think the big difference, Zach, is, your coloration is from a plant-based material, probably, and off-colored non-organic isolates, a lot of times you'll see them off-colored due to other residual solvents that are still in there. And then, over time you'll see some reaction with the atmosphere, and that's where you'll get your off-colored product with a standard isolate.
Sure.
And decent chance the colored isolate, the non-organic stuff, that color also is an indication that there's probably still some THC in there too. Typically, if you haven't crystallized enough with pentane, THC is going to be one of your last contaminants to go, for sure. So, yeah, I am
even from the
fortunate.
tea-free distillate.
Well, obviously not. No, if they took well, I shouldn't say obviously not, but if they took the THC out by other methods before they crystallized to the isolate, then you're correct. It wouldn't be there, but that's a waste of resources, really. Like if you take the THC out early on, crystallizing to make isolate to take the THC out. To make THC-free distillate, they're probably doing chromatography or something. And you wouldn't do that if your end goal was isolate, because you're trying to make that as cheaply as possible.
Right.
I mean, you're essentially saying that in that instance, the coloration is from residual mother liquor on the crystals that hasn't been washed off with enough pentane washes.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying that THC is colored. I'm saying that, what you said, like that mother liquor is THC rich, and the color indicates they haven't properly washed it off.
You mean like as long as the full panel is good to go, like a non-detect on everything, and then like you don't have to wash it again to make it whiter, right? Obviously.
Correct. That is the most common quality bar that people are asked to meet.
Right.
Another question comes out that because of these days that the water soluble or those kind of the emulsified CBD is quite hot these days, right?
Yeah.
And how's it for those CBDs, that it's gonna be more easier, or I mean, if there's any kind of significant difference for the making emulsifying?
No,
it's the same.
Not at all, because the ingredient that we make is just organic CBD.
Right.
Any of those water solubilization technologies are equal candidates for ours. We're working on doing organic certified water soluble ourselves, but again, any of those techniques would work on organic CBD or non.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. Yeah, I just found that there is indeed the processing method using for the hot water extraction to even extract for the CBG or even the CBC, CBN, whatever.
I don't know. I'm not certain what you found, but I know there are folks who will do like supercritical water, hot water, or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
200 degrees something.
I don't mind people thinking that my process is that complicated.
Got it.
But it's not.
But it's secret. You're the only one. You're the only one in the world.
I'm surprised that they're saying you can extract CBC and CBN with hot water, but you would need to run a lot of biomass, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just honestly just using really hot pressurized water.
Yeah, it's a 200 degree water.
It's kind of like how they work with CO2. Like,
This one.
It's almost not even the same solvent at that point. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I just shot.
You sent me the link.
I shot the link. I think this is kind of interesting because they're only using the seeds, and they say that they could extract such many kind of cannabinoids. Believe or not.
Yeah, I'm aware of this stuff. I don't think anyone's really ever been able to get it to any meaningful scale, though. Or at least, I don't know every cannabis business in the whole world, but
yeah,
I don't think there's any like giant extractors using supercritical water.
I think so.
It'd be cool if they were, though.
If this is true, though.
I'm sure it is on laboratory scale. Like, it's not.
For the large production.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's where it gets a little hairy. I think.
True. But interesting paper, though.
Yeah,
it's a very recent one. It's pretty recent one.
2020. Yeah.
Do we want to discuss any other organic extraction methods that might be out there?
I mean, that's more up to you than me. I mean, organic extractions, organic isolate is difficult. Organic extraction is easy. You just buy ethanol from an organic crop or use CO2. Making organic THC-free products. Organic isolate's the hardest. Organic THC-free, that's I guess the next level down in complexity, but making full spectrum products or full spectrum distillate organic, just about anybody can do that. It's just more expensive is all that it really is.
Because it's not using pentan from the beginning.
It's ethanol, right? Yeah, for
it could be organic ethanol, and they can also do CO2 and stay organic certified. So you can make full spectrum crude and full spectrum distillate using both those methods. But as soon as you want to make isolate, that's where not very many people have figured it out.
You mean the crystallizing?
Exactly, because that's what you need the pen.
Right.
Can make sense actually. No, I was just thinking about that because recently I was reading for which kind of the CBD can be said organic, and I just read for the couples of the articles about that, and I just realized myself like, okay, that all those stuff which has been extracted and isolated using for the water or the CO2 or the ethanol, not like that. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, there are other ways I could think of to do it, but they're not as cool.
It's not. It's under the lab stuff. It's not really for the large production for sure.
Yeah. There's always rumors flying around, but as far as I know, it's like, no one's really figured it out.
True. That makes sense.
I think broad spectrum, like THC-free stuff. I think people do supercritical fluid chromatography and still manage to stay organic, but I think that's a little dubious because I think there's got to be a solid phase involved in that, and there's almost no way that the solid phase is organic. I think they might be just having their organic certifier come in and they point at the equipment and don't really tell them what's inside that chamber. Because I don't know how you have like C18 or silica and stay organic, but that's not my problem, I guess.
You don't have to do the demonstration in front of the USDA people when they come to your facility?
For my second inspection I did, for the first one I couldn't operate organically, so I just walked them through what I would do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.